Next in the timeline is Uncharted Eye of Indra, which takes place about a year after the events of Golden Abyss. The comic begins with the interrogation and torture of Nathan Drake as he is beaten by Daniel Pinkerton, an American crime lord living in Indonesia, to reveal as of yet undisclosed information. As Nate is tortured, he jokes with Pinkerton and refuses to tell him anything. A flashback reveals that Pinkerton had hired Nate to find the Eye of Indra, a prized artifact of great value and the main entry to the 3 treasures of Indra. After having a fallout with the previous finder, he employs Nate, who promises to track down the treasure in return for a handsome sum of money. While investigating the files handed to him in a bar, Nate is harassed by a couple of petty thugs and gets into a scrap. It is broken up by a woman named Rika, owner of the bar. Nate offers to pay for the furniture broken in return for some help translating the documents. Later in Rika's bedroom, the pair are stunned to discover that the eye is hidden within the other treasures of Indra, which is locked in Pinkerton's safe. Nate does not tell Pinkerton of this discovery, instead opting to steal it from him. Continuing with Pinkerton's interrogation, water is poured over Nate's head, who is still refusing to break. Pinkerton threatens to step the torture up a notch by electrifying him. Flashing back again, we see that Nate slept with Rika. Nate is concerned with Rika helping him take the amulet from Pinkerton, but Rika reveals that she has told someone already. Nate is angry, and as they argue, 2 pirates barge through the door, brandishing handguns. Nate fails in reaching for his own gun, and is forced into another brawl, but he and Rika are outnumbered and taken hostage. But Rika is freed when Eddie Raja, one of Nate's past rivals, enters the room. Both men are confused as to how they have met up again, but it is revealed that Eddie is Rika's brother, whom she had told about the job. Eddie is furious when he deduces that Nate and Rika have slept together. Rika apologizes for telling Eddie without consulting Nate first, though asks how they know each other. Nate explains how Eddie had planned to dick him over on a past job, but Nate had beat him to the punch. Back to the present, it is seen that Eddie has been captured also, and is tied back to back with Nate. Eddie states that he will kill Nate himself if he tells Pinkerton anything, before shouting his signature phrase,
"No one, and I mean no one, messes with Eddie Raja."
After the fight in Rika's bedroom beforehand, Eddie has calmed down and reluctantly agreed to work with Nate, but does not trust him. Again to the interrogation, Eddie suggests to Pinkerton that they have an accomplice outside. A flashback to 1 hour before their capture reveals that Eddie and Nate persuade Rika to stay behind to cover them. To create a distraction, Eddie blows up Pinkerton's cars as they both sneak into the mansion. Back to the present, Pinkerton already knows about Rika and has her captured. He orders his guards to bring her in and continues,
"Now, unless we're expecting more company, you'd be wise to come clean about my amulet."
Pinkerton threatens to shock Rita unless Nate reveals the location of the eye. At this point, Nate seems to break and tells him that the eye is in the safe. Pinkerton is skeptical at first, but then realizes that is the reason Nate and Eddie are at his manor to begin with. Another flashback occurs to 1 hour prior, as Nate and Eddie are in a fight with Pinkerton's guards following the explosion of the cars. After battling their way through the office and barricading themselves inside, Eddie plants an explosive on the safe. However, the detonator is broken, and all the others were used on the cars. As both bicker about the situation, Rika informs Nate via walkie-talkie that Pinkerton and more of his goons are headed his way. Returning to the interrogation, Pinkerton proceeds to break open the Indra artifacts to obtain the eye. As he inspects it, Rika bites the arm of the guard holding her hostage, and she is thrown aside into a desk. Pinkerton tells Rika that he is truly sorry that she was caught up in the affair, but Rika hits back that he should be, before revealing Eddie's concealed golden gun and firing upon Pinkerton and his guards. The guards are killed, but Pinkerton lies wounded. Nate and Eddie say to themselves that they cannot believe their plan worked. A dying Pinkerton grabs Nate as he picks up the Eye of Indra and furiously asks if he planned this. Nate tells him it was more of an improvisation. 45 minutes before being captured, Nate came up with a plan after Eddie's detonator failed to get caught. As he was out of bullets and Eddie was down to his last clip, he took Eddie's golden gun and slipped it under the desk before telling Rika what to do. Pinkerton tells Nate he had better finish him off, but Rika saves him the trouble and violently executes him. She concludes that they got what they came for and must now get out of there. The following morning, the trio stand at a dock discussing a fine job. However, Rika betrays both Nate and Eddie by taking the amulet for herself, holding them at gunpoint and repeating Nate's earlier statement that she simply beat him to the punch. Nate assures Rika that he will find her. She replies that she will look forward to it. As they watch her sail away, Eddie orders Nate not to say a word. 3 days later, Nate relaxes at a beach bar, telling his friend Sully of the recent events. Sully finds the story amusing and tells Nate that he should have known better than to have teamed up with Eddie or any of his family, but questions how Nate now plans to find Sir Francis Drake's coffin without any money.
Actually, I already got something lined up. Of course, I'm gonna need your help on this one.
Oh boy.
It took us 3 weeks, but here we are. I can't believe this is the actual altar where the sacrificial rituals took place. Come on, let's take a closer look.
I meet with her tomorrow.
Get out of here. What the hell did you tell her?
Nothing. Just that I found the site of Sir Francis Drake's coffin. Best part, her producers are gonna pay for the whole damn thing.
I'll believe it when I see it, kid.